I just have to say, I am so excited to be up here. Big thanks to Moz for having me. So let's jump right in. SEO and PPC go great together, right? You get increased visibility in the SERPs, increased perceived authority, and so forth. And while those classic talking points are true, they are simply not reality. It's not as easy as it sounds. Often, teams are very siloed, and there's very little collaboration or sharing of data. As SEOs, the perception is that all we care about is traffic and rankings. And all the PPCers care about is click-through rate and quality score. That image of SEO and PPC as the perfect team simply isn't reality. We understand why the two should work together, but it's very theoretical and abstract. We really fall short on the how, on the execution. How often do you actually collaborate and work on strategy with the PPC team? I know I'm guilty more often than not of skimming through PPC reports instead of deep diving like I should be, and I'm willing to bet most of us are. So what can we do about it? How can we bridge this gap? The key to effectively leveraging PPC lies in understanding how to test your SEO tactics and apply the results. So we're going to talk through 4 tactics that will help you test and optimize based on real metrics. First, we'll talk through how to test for effective metadata. Once optimizing your website is typically a very long-term process. Once you implement changes, it takes time for search engines to crawl the site and update their index. It takes even longer to get statistically significant results that you can base success off of. So by using PPC ads to test metadata, we can expedite this process. So I start by using the search analytics report in Google Webmaster Tools and filter for pages rather than queries. And I like to look at all of the data so that we're looking at all of the angles, not just click-through rate specifically. Once you have defined the pages that you want to focus on, start testing. I like to create a organic sandbox campaign so that I can keep all of my SEO tactics in one place and separate from the traditional PPC campaigns. And I create 3 to 4 unique ad variations, so unique title tags or headlines, and unique descriptions or ad copy. The key is that the landing page for each of these ads will be the same. This is the landing page that we are testing optimization for. I also like to set my ad delivery to show the best performing ad most often so that we can see a clear winner sooner. On the other hand, if you want more unbiased results, you can use Google experiments within AdWords to have your ads display with a more 50-50 even split. This will take a little longer and it's still in beta, but it is an option. Once you have statistically significant results and you can see a clear winner, you can then apply these tactics to your on-page strategy, starting with your title tag and meta description. Which keywords perform better in the headline? Which messaging performed better in the description? And one thing I'm sure everyone is thinking is the difference in character limitations between your ad copy and real metadata. So you'll be able to use the themes that you defined, but you will have to elaborate on these for the actual metadata creation. Beatport is one of the world's largest online EDM music stores for DJs. And the professional DJ community really has a language all their own. Dance, techno, house, these are all different genres of music. So defining key messaging was really important for SEO success for Beatport. Through using this method, Beatport saw an increase in organic entrances to their website by 65%, specifically to those genre pages. Next, we will talk through how to identify content gaps. So for this tactic, I start by looking at the multi-channel funnels report in Google Analytics and look at the top conversion paths. I set the look-back window to 90 days just so that we're looking at a substantial amount of data, and set the path length to all for the same reason. Next, set the secondary dimension to keyword and filter for paths that begin with paid search. The idea is that if paid search is driving traffic to the website where organic is not part of the buyer journey, then we probably have low organic visibility for these search terms. We're probably not ranking well, if at all. Most often, that means paid is the only path to the website, or the first path, the first interaction. So next steps to optimize your website are really based on a few questions. One, are we targeting this keyword from an organic perspective? If not, why? And if so, why is it not working? Do we need to expand existing content on the website so that we can speak to these terms? Or do we need to create new content altogether? Hubble's Chance branded website used this method and found that there was a lot of opportunity for helical peers. They specialize in foundation repair solutions. So not very exciting stuff. But once Chance added new content on the website that spoke to helical peers, they saw an increase in organic entrances to the helical products page by over 50%. Next, we'll talk about how to define striking distance ranking opportunities. So first off, what do I mean by striking distance? Ranking opportunities that are performing keywords that are performing very well for PPC, high conversions, high conversion rate, high click-through rate, et cetera, that we are not targeting from an SEO perspective, but we are currently ranking for these search terms. Probably not very well, maybe towards the bottom of page 1 or even on page 2 or 3 of Google. But the idea is if we are already showing relevance for these search terms, PPC is driving qualified site traffic, then with a little effort, we can really improve our rankings for these keywords. They're within our reach or within striking distance. So for this tactic, I start by looking at the top performing keywords in Google AdWords, and I filter for conversions greater than 1, just so that we are not including any extraneous data that we don't need. And I also set the time frame so that it's long enough that we have a substantial amount of data to look at. Once I get in Excel, I start by removing a lot of the extraneous data that you get in the initial export. All we really need to look at are keywords, clicks, impressions, click-through rate, and conversions. Once we have that data, we want to know if we're already targeting this keyword and how well we're ranking for this keyword. Based on all of that data, you can see where the opportunity is and start assigning value. So again, tier 1 opportunities would be anywhere we are ranking towards the bottom of page 1 in Google search results, and tier 2 would be anywhere where we're on page 2. And we all know that rankings aren't simply 1 through 10 anymore. So as you're assigning value, you can take into consideration things like knowledge boxes, local results, mobile results, et cetera, on an as-needed basis. Once you have identified where the opportunity is, then you want to apply these terms to your on-page strategy. Pure Talk USA is a no-contract cell phone provider. So as you can imagine, it's a very competitive market. Using this opportunity to find content gaps, they began to shift their focus from the affordability of what they were offering to the unlimited aspect of what they were offering. And they saw an increase in organic entrances of over 30% in Q1. And they also earned 4 new keyword rankings in the top 3 of Google search results for those unlimited keyword themes. So lastly, we'll walk through how to leverage PPC for CRO. And I wanted to talk a little bit about CRO because even though it's not directly SEO, it is critical to improving user experience, and that's really what SEO is all about at its core. So when we're defining keywords to different sections and pages of our website, there are often a number of pages that could be appropriate for any given keyword theme. There's a natural overlap as part of any website. And with keyword not provided, making things a little more complicated for us, and semantic search and Google's algorithm getting better at understanding the meaning behind keywords, we really can't look at defining our keyword themes as a semantic exercise anymore. We have to look at it from a buyer journey perspective and think about what a user would expect to see when they're searching for these different keyword themes. Should the landing page be more navigational or transactional? So by testing our landing pages using PPC, again, we can expedite this process a little more. And I like to use my organic sandbox campaign and create 3 unique ad variations. They will be very similar because we're testing one keyword theme, but the key is that each landing page will be to a unique landing page on the website. Whoop. Again, I like to set my ad delivery to optimize for the best performing ads so that we can identify a clear winner sooner. And once you have defined the best performing page in terms of click-through rate or conversions, you can apply your on-page strategies to that page for the given keyword theme. Jekyll Island Club Hotel is a historic resort hotel in Georgia, and they have a lot of overlapping pages on their website, especially for the different accommodations. So there's a page for rooms, a page for rates and reservations, and so forth. So the question was, which page will resonate most with the users where there's a little bit of overlap and blurry intent? So by using this method and testing landing pages, Jekyll Island saw an increase in organic conversions of about 48%. So just a few more tips for you to keep in mind as you guys move forward and create your own tactics. Some things work better together. SEO needs PPC data, and they have keyword data. We should absolutely be using that. You can also curate your own tactics. I mentioned 4, but maybe we can find off-page opportunities by looking at retargeting data. Maybe you can change some things about the tests that I've talked about. I like to set my ad delivery to optimize to show the best ad more frequently, but maybe you want to use Google experiments so that you have a 50-50 split. And lastly, embrace collaboration. It's more than just data mining and optimizing. We should be working with the PPC team. They shouldn't just be our coworkers across the office. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. We have a number of questions that are coming through on Twitter, so I thought I'd jump right into a couple of these. I'm going to steal this from you, and hopefully I'll remember to give it to Adrian.
The next person.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so one question that has come up, I see it a couple times here. The question is, so how do you select which pages are the best ones to actually take a look at and good targets for testing in Google Webmaster Tools? How do you, yeah.
So in Google Webmaster Tools, you can look at the Search Analytics report. And for testing effective metadata, I want to look at those pages that have the lowest click-through rate specifically. So you can filter for pages instead of queries. You guys can take a closer look at the slide when you download the deck, but it's all outlined there. And then you can look at impressions, clicks, click-through rate, average position, and so forth. So I like to look for the lowest click-through rate.
All right, Makes sense. And another good one is, how do you match up keywords across PPC and SEO? They're similar, but aren't exactly the same.
Yeah, so a lot of the tactics that I talked about were really focused on keyword themes. So for my clients, we like to kind of group, the different keywords that are overlapping and similar by theme. And it works better for some of the tactics that I talked about than others, but the idea is to have a general grouping.
Are there specific tools or something that you use that helps you to find the keywords that are on that second and third page, kind of that within striking distance?
So a lot of that is based on the keywords that we're targeting through AdWords. So I look at those keywords, and I do like to look at the different ad types, the different keyword types, because they are truly different search queries. So if there are a lot of broad match terms, then it may take a little more research and a little more digging, but it is a very manual process.
Cool. This one, this is a great one for SEO. How do you mitigate ranking loss risks deploying PPC pages organically? Regarding testing landing pages on AdWords.
Can you repeat that one?
Yeah, it's about testing landing pages on AdWords. How do you mitigate ranking loss risks by deploying those PPC pages organically? I don't know if that's I'm assuming.
In terms of overlap with PPC and the organic?
Yeah, I'd say your landing pages ranking organically that you've deployed for PPC.
So for the landing pages that I'm referring to, they're not strictly PPC landing pages. They're pages on your website that are organic landing pages as well.
Okay, so pages that already exist and
yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I almost read that question out loud. That is about our Wi-Fi. We're not going to read that question.
I don't have answers to that.
I don't have answers to that. Do you test individual elements on landing pages or design 3 completely different landing pages when you test? Yeah,
so the idea behind testing landing pages is testing existing pages that overlap and could use the same keyword themes. So the Jekyll Island example was, a rooms page, a reservations page, and a rates page. So they're all very similar. They're all talking about reservations, but they already exist. We just want to know which one is more likely to convert for the reservation keyword theme.
All right. And then I think we have one more question here. What is your suggestion for tracking user journeys for specific keywords and phrases, and how those kind of work together there?
Yeah, so that's where using AdWords PPC data comes in. They are the ones that have keyword data. We can look at that in AdWords and analytics both. So that's really, where we're limited to keyword data.
Wah, wah, wah. Remember the old days? Finding keywords. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let's get a big round of applause.